unqualified morons playing tabletop. This is the Gateway Gamers podcast.
Hi, welcome to the Gateway Gamers podcast. I'm Bryan.
And I'm RP.
And this is a podcast where a veteran like me introduces the world of gaming to a noob.
Like me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 7 of the Gateway Gamers.
What's up, man? How we doing? How we doing, audience out there? Hope you're loving all the 6 episodes we had out and our bonus one.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Living large in the summertime. What is this? July 16th?
When this will be dropping, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, wow, we're halfway through the summer. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
I don't want it to too quick.
Yeah.
Way too quick.
I'm not ready for...
How has your summer been so far, though, man?
Good. We just got back from vacation. We went
Where'd you
to
go?
Rehoboth Beach in Delaware.
That's right, yeah.
And I've never been.
Oh, it was your first time there?
Yeah.
I've never been there either.
It was fun. We normally go to Outer Banks in North Carolina, but with...
That was a long drive.
Yeah, with the COVID, the pandemic and all, you have to book like almost a year ahead.
Oh, wow.
And there was no money back guarantee. So like if the world was still in chaos and we were like, we're not comfortable, we would have been out X amount of money. So we just took an easy trip this year.
Yeah, the hell with that.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fine. It's a beach town.
So it was your first trip with your baby boy. How was that?
Yeah, it was our first trip with our son. It was exhausting.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But it's fun. It's nice. Her family, like my wife's family, my in-laws were there to help out. But it is just like taking care of your kid in like a different house. But
yeah, I can't imagine because that's got to be a good first one though, because it's like the beach is a relaxing ish trip, so it's not like you're going to like Florida or
we didn't have to do it. I mean, it was a nice house we stayed in, so it wasn't like a hotel room with tiny. But so it was fine. It was a good trip.
Was it right on the boardwalk too, or is that just we were just guys like at the dinner? I saw a picture. You guys were like overlooking the boardwalk and the beach.
No, we went to the Green Turtle. That was off the boardwalk.
Okay.
We weren't far from the beach. It was a walk, but it wasn't.
The house looked super nice.
The house was insane. It was really nice.
I'm jealous.
But we played a lot of games. So
Did you?
Yeah. So that's the one thing with my in-laws is they'll humor me.
That's nice.
With games. So we played a lot of party games. We played Blockbuster, which we played before with you and your fiance, lovely producer Audra. Which is a great game. I can't recommend that game enough.
Yeah,
it's not even like a party game. It's just like a really good movie game. So the basic idea is, because we brought it up before, is there's a head-to-head round where you split into 2 teams and you pick someone to represent your team. It's a head-to-head round. You flip a card and it'll be like name movies with a dog. And each person has like 15 seconds to name back and forth, like Homeward Bound, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. Sounds easy, but when you're in that crunch time, you hear the noise because it comes with like a buzzer.
And there's an app too, because ours never worked. Like it never worked from the beginning, so we were just like, I'm not unscrewing this to put a battery in.
So the app like kind of like counts down and starts to speed up. So
a lot of times when I play, it's like action movies, and then we play. You can't do sequels. You can't be like Harry Potter 2. And you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I know so many.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting on the sidelines as a teammate and you're like, how did you not name Fast and Furious or
when
Mission
you're on
Impossible?
the sideline, you can rat off a million.
Yeah.
When it's your turn, and I understand when I used to watch like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and it'd be like, name something with 4 legs, and it's like a penguin, a dog, and you're like, how does this idiot not know? But when you're in a hot spot, it is
those like backseat driving quotes like on those game shows. I'm the same way. I'm like, how did you not, like on America Says, like they have things up there and it's like, how did you not get that? Or same Family Feud, like, but then you're in that crunch zone, your brain like kind of shuts down and you're like, you're that way. Like it is crazy how just adding a timer or a little bit of pressure changes the ball game. Because I'm a huge movie guy, and so are you, where we can just rattle off titles, and even if we haven't seen it, we know what the movie is. And that Blockbuster game freezes me.
Yeah, so
that's... And those head-to-head rounds.
In that head-to-head... So the head-to-head round, the winner of that one, you draw 6 cards from, like, a movie title pile. And since you won the round, you can pick 3 that you want to keep and 3 that go to the other team. So if you draw 6 cards, and it's like Jaws, Avengers, Ben-Hur...
Yeah.
Like, you want to give 3 that you probably don't know to the other team, or ones that are going to be harder, because after you pick your 3, you put them down on the board, and there's 3 areas where it's act it, 1 word, and quote. So if I had the Jaws card, I'm going to put it in the quote. and all I gotta do to my team, I'm gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna need a bigger boat. Jaws.
The best part about that too is this game works for people who don't know movies because they use it as an example. It doesn't have to be an exact quote.
Mm-hmm.
You can have Godzilla there and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is giant lizard,"
Yeah.
and they'll be like, as long as you don't give away the title. I think you can't say characters in it.
It's very lenient. Like even they
it's a good party. It
Yeah.
really is a great party game. And then the same thing goes for like Act It. You know what were the 3 movies like the Avengers?
Yeah, Avengers. You just kind of pretend you have Thor's hammer, or like just be the Hulk, like different stuff like that. And then like one word. The one word's tough sometimes.
You just can't say the title. For that, you could have been like Thor.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, the Avengers.
Yeah, as long as you don't say the title. So that game's great always. Me and her brother Mike are just like
click
the same person. We're just like people were just like, what is happening? So he was just kind of like describing. He's like, oh, we're like a bunch of people in the room, and I'm like 12 angry men. And I'm like, how do you know? Like,
well, that's also the problem too. If you play this game a lot, you start to remember some of the movies that are in there. Like it's a giant bundle of cards too.
And we have the expansion as well to add it more.
We don't have that, but we want it.
The best was we did play this game on my bachelor party.
Mm-hmm. That's where I was introduced to the game.
Yeah, so we played on my bachelor party.
The best thing ever.
My best man Dante wasn't playing, or he was out of the room at that point.
He was in the bathroom.
Yeah, so
and I was up.
It was your turn. Yeah. That's right. So you got.
I had Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Yeah.
I had never seen the movie. I know what the movie is. It's a claymation, George Clooney, I think Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, Wes Anderson.
I had no idea what it was, so I did Act It. And I just did a 4 and a circle, which people, you know...
Everyone was shouting Fantastic Four.
Because I wanted Fantastic for the Fantastic Four. And Dante just comes walking out of the bathroom and just goes, oh, Fantastic Mr. Fox. And it was the wildest thing ever. I have no idea.
And he's not a gamer. He's never played it, so I know it's not like he got it from memory.
And that is one of the most like memorable. There's a lot of memorable moments for that trip, but that is one of the top. We just all laugh our butts off at that. It's so we crack up. It's so funny.
He legit walked out and was like, "Oh, Fantastic Mr. Fox!" Like, and we're like, "What? How would you pull that out of your knowledge base?"
Yeah, it was crazy. So that game is a lot of fun and it's cheap. It's like $18, I think.
Yeah, it's from Big Potato Games, which they produce a lot of party games, and it's a very low price point.
Yeah, and
it's an awesome box.
Yeah, so to win the game, you have to have there's 6 categories. And it's like drama, all-time classic, comedy, film, or comedy, animated, and you just have to have one of each to win.
Yeah, and then the expansion adds more. It adds like
so when you play
adventure,
you can. Oh, it does. The expansion adds space.
I forget what it's called, but it adds. It's all modern movies too.
Yeah, because the cutoff I think for the base game is maybe like it feels like 2014 maybe like
I think it's maybe
like 2010.
Yeah, like this one has like Detective Pikachu and Avengers.
Wow,
it has a lot of superhero stuff, so I feel like that's a genre in its own in this game.
Yeah, and like Brian said, the box itself is a old Blockbuster cassette. Like you can't beat
the clamshell.
Yeah, you can't beat it, man. It's a great game. I'll post it in the show notes. I'll post a link for it in case somebody wants to check it out.
Yeah, highly recommend it. We also played Love Letter, which is good. That's just like a little card drawing deduction game where you...
Did you play the Batman or the Thanos
Just a regular one.
Oh,
just regular Love Letter. Yeah, classic Love Letter. Yeah, that's the thing. It has IP expansions for it. It's basically just draw a card. You have one card in your hand, draw a card, and kind of just you have to do what it says, and you're just kind of like you're trying to deliver a letter to the princess. Like, that's the idea of it.
Okay.
And you just kind of got to knock out other person's hand. It's hard to explain, especially because I'm prepared to explain it. But Love Letter, great game. Been around for a while. We also played Dixit, which is another game we played on one of our game date nights with you guys.
Did you... Oh, so you had that game.
Dixit? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
recently got the expansion.
Playing that oh yes, I do remember playing that together.
Yeah, that's the one with the pictures. Yep. So Dixit's really cool too. That's a really cool.
I would like to unbox that again though. I don't remember having a good time playing.
Yeah, I don't consider it a party game, but it is just a good like group game kind of. So with Dixit, it's just a bunch of cards. You get a hand of 7, and they're just very like out there, weird abstract art where it'll be like a crow inside of a star eating a tin can. Like, it's just weird, very weird stuff like that. And you put down one of the cards face down, and you just either give a clue, say a song, quote, whatever you want to do. So if your picture has a ring on it, you can say like one ring to rule them all. And then the other players will put a card down they think best matches the phrase or quote that you said. And then they all flip, and everyone votes on which one they think the original person put down. If everyone is able to easily guess what you put down, everyone else gets points except for you. If you're able to get one person to vote for yours, then you get points and the person who guesses yours. So you don't want to be too obvious.
But you can't be too
But you can't be too obscure either. Right. And then if anyone votes for the cards that the other player puts down, they get points. So it's
I
a very
that game. I was a big fan of that.
It's a very light, very abstract game. And what's good about that one is you can play it a lot because it's always different. Mm-hmm. The art is so abstract that even if someone gets the same card, you can say something different about it because there's so much going on. The art is beautiful, and there's multiple expansions for that one.
It's funny, since we started this podcast, replayability has never really come into my mind before until now. Mm-hmm. So, like, when I am looking to purchase a game, like I have since we started this, aside from Villainous, I have really started looking at, okay, do I think this is very replayable? Yes or no? And then that helps me make a decision on if I want to purchase it, which that to me has been one of the bigger call-outs from us starting this, because I never really would have thought about that before. So a game that has more replay value is incredibly like more interesting to me, because I don't want to get bored after one.
Especially with the price point for some of these games.
If it's like a $10 game, I'm not worried about it. But if I'm dropping $35, like I want to be able to get use out of it.
Yeah.
Like I know there's the Scooby-Doo game from OP.
The OP. It's just called now. Yeah.
Very curious about that game, but I know we had talked about it, and I had read some reviews that said it's not replayable.
It's basically like a one-off. Yeah. Like which is weird because when you talk about price point to experience, because like if you go to movies with your date and you're paying almost $12 a person plus food, you're dropping almost $40 for one movie. But then like it's just weird when you put it in terms of like a game. It's like if you're dropping $40 on a game, you play it once, the experience might be longer than a 2-hour movie. Like it's almost what you're paying for what you get. Like you're not as invested in board games. So to you, it's like, oh, that's a lot of money. Am I getting my money's worth? Where you'll go to a movie, you've seen.
I've seen movies in the theaters multiple times. A movie I don't really necessarily want to see, I'll still go see it because it's a chance to go to the movies. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, because I'll drop more money on a board game and be like, I don't know if I want to see that movie and spend
even a video
all
game.
this money. Yeah, video game.
We talked about the Avengers game, and even the new Ratchet and Clank game is $70, and I've heard it's like a 12-hour game, which $70 for 12 hours. Anything else, you'd be like, wow, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, you go to one of those escape the rooms.
Yeah.
And they're like $50 for an hour.
But it's an experience too. It's like, look at different things. It's how you value things in your own life. But then I also know, give that a couple months or maybe even a year, and that game will probably be like $30.
Yeah, they'll drop.
Which I am super excited to play Ratchet and Clank. But like I bought MLB The Show, $70, got it the day it came out, and I play that game almost every day.
Yeah.
Maybe even twice a day I play a full game. And to me, that's absolutely worth it. Whereas
the Avengers.
Yeah, like a game like that, I was adamant on not paying full price for that because I knew I wasn't going to get... Like, you grind on that game kind of still.
Yep, yeah.
And I don't. And I actually pre-ordered Guardians of the Galaxy, the new game from the same company, and immediately canceled it because I was like, I'm going to give that game about 2 months.
And wait for reviews.
And it'll be $30. It'll be half price if they want to drive people to it, or I can wait, you know. And it comes out right around my wedding, and they charge me for it now, which I thought they were going to charge it later.
When it dropped, yeah.
Yeah, because it'll get. I have to go pick it. I think it's because it's shipping, but and I had like a $5 reward, so I wanted it and I wanted those costumes, but like exactly. I will go see a movie 4 times in theaters. Even see it in IMAX. just to get, because that's what I value. And
Yeah.
where you value these board games, and $50 might not be a lot for a game like Quest of Yore,
Yeah.
but to me, I'm like,
yeah, for an
crap,
experience.
you
Yeah,
know?
and that's
No, it's a really good conversation, and just kind of with anything in life, you know, a lot of the things we're into the same thing. We're into a lot of the same things with like Legos.
I was about to say Legos is that's the
funny
price
we said
point.
that at the same time. That's the same thing. Like, I only got into the Legos because we were price matching. Because to me that wasn't worth it. Like, it's fun, sure, but then it's over.
Yeah.
And then I can justify spending $10 on a Funko because it's one unit. You know what I mean? It's just like,
that's all it is. It's just like,
and my room, the studio we're in is filled with a bunch of crap that you could look at and be like, is that really what you value?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody else, and they're like, this is worthless. But you look at it, and you're like, oh, okay. Like,
right next to the right of me is my Harry Potter shelf. I have 3 versions of each book. I have a hardback, a paperback for travel, and then I recently just got the UK versions, which you would look at that and be like, why the heck do you need more than one copy of each book?
And I'm sure you'll get those illustrated versions I showed you.
Maybe, yes, because they do look really nice. But it's all about what you think is worth your money and your time. Especially as I've gotten older and I bought the house, like, now I'm like cranking down even more, where before I would have been like, you know, if I was still living at home and we're doing this, I probably would have bought every game I wanted. But now I'm like, oh, crap, I got bills, I got responsibilities.
Wait till you have a kid who can see.
I can feel like the walls closing in on that discussion. You know, I'm like, no. But yeah, that was a little bit of a tangent, but I think that's just a very good, especially with this world of things just games in general, with board games, video games. It's all about what you get out of it.
Yep.
And you may think $30 for a game is great, where I might be like, you know, it's not IP. But you know you're going to get a lot of time out of it, like Dixon, for example. Sorry if I went on a little bit of a tangent.
That was a good discussion, because I am more into this than you are. Like, this is me opening you to my world, where there are some games where I'm like, yeah, MSRPs for like 50, and I see your face, you're like, for what? Like, and it is for you, it is like, for what? But for me, I'm at home playing it, and it's given me my experience, like, especially like a game I play solo, like, because you're looking for like more of replayability. Mine is, can I play this solo? Like, when can I get this out and play it by myself? Because I don't, especially in the last year with the pandemic, it was like I just needed to play. And then when my wife was pregnant and we couldn't really get out, and even still with the kid, like, he's in bed at 6:30 and that's it. My life's done, like 6:30 till I go to bed. I'm just you
need something to do. And watching TV gets boring, or, you know, playing even a game like Mass Effect that you are still deeply invested in. You want a break from that sometimes.
Yeah. We need to be more challenged and just more thinky than just watching TV, for sure.
Exactly. But like, you know, reading a book or reading a comic is not always something I want, especially at the end of the day. Like, I'm tired. Like, it is funny because I could sit there and read cards or read dialogue on a TV, but just that mentality of sitting down, getting comfy, and reading a book knocks you out. It's funny. So, but I think like board games and Funkos are like a perfect example of worth.
Yeah. That's just, and people are probably like, oh, Funkos, like, they're dumb.
I'm just kicking down that door for a segue.
Oh, I know. So today's gonna be a little different. Normally I reveal the game. But you know what the game is already, because
you couldn't hide it bringing it in.
Because we're doing Funkoverse.
Yep.
So I don't have the original box for Funkoverse because I got all the expansions, and I have them in a giant Michael's crafting bin.
So the funniest thing about this, and just kind of ties in directly what we were just talking about, today's going to be your first time playing this game.
Yeah.
Right? And you have all these expansions for at least a year, right? Like, some of them 6 months?
So the game's been out for 2 years. And I've bought the base game and other games
and
in giant spans. So the first one I bought probably a year and a half ago, and it's just been sitting there. And then, as we kind of talk about it, there's the Kool-Aid Man, who was a Target exclusive. So I had to buy him immediately. Now you can buy him anywhere. Yeah. And then Darkwing Duck was like a Comic-Con exclusive for like Emerald Com. So I had to buy him immediately. Now you can buy him everywhere. So they get me with the IP, and then I have like, and then if they went on sale, I kind of grabbed them. Like if they dipped low enough, I'd be like, well, I have to get it,
Yeah.
or I'll never see it again.
I know that feeling, man. So today's episode, though, specifically, why we're kind of deciding to do it now, right, is because not only is the Marvel one coming out,
Well, it's out at this point,
already,
yeah.
and that goes into worth. Actually, neither of us wanted to pay full price for that game,
Nope.
but you did pay full price for the Space Jam, a new Legacy Edition, which comes out the day this episode is released. So you'll be able to watch it on HBO, or if you want to pay that money and go into theaters, if it's worth it to you to pay $13 to go see LeBron and Bugs Bunny battle out basically every Warner Brothers IP, then yeah, that's your call. So since you don't have the boxes, there's no back of the box segment.
Back of the box.
Which I know our fans get really upset about.
Yeah, that's a highlight.
That's everybody just DMs us saying back of the box. It's the only reason why I listen to the episodes.
So original.
Yeah.
You're reading the box.
Yeah.
So I'll just give you a basic rundown of Funkoverse. It's from Prospero Hall. We literally should just change the name from Gateway Gamers to Prospero Hall Players because I think
Prospero Hall Players, the podcast.
Yeah,
for real, we are huge fans. We are.
Yeah. It's published by Funko Games. It's kind of I think it was their first jump into the gaming industry. It's 2 to 4 players, ages 10 plus, and MSRPs for about $40. So the way Funkoverse works is they're basically the Funko Pops, just a little bit smaller, and it comes with 4 of them in a main box. So the one box that I have is Batman, Joker, Harley Quinn, and Batgirl. Yeah. So that one in MSRPs, that's $40. And then they also come out with little 2-packs. And that one would have Robin and Catwoman. That MSRPs for $20. And then they also sell single expansions, which are $10 to $15.
Which the new Marvel one that's out is the 4-pack. Iron Man, Cap, Black Widow, and Black Panther. And then the Thanos was a standalone, which if you've listened to this, we are jonesing.
Yeah,
to
I'll get
play
it
as
for
Thanos.
sure. Yeah, it'll be in my collection. So Funkoverse got me hooked because it takes some of my favorite elements of just combining things together. So when I was a kid, I would play G.I. Joes with Thundercats, with Turtles. There was no universe. It was just all of them together.
No.
And so that's what's cool about Funkoverse is there's a Harry Potter box, there's a Batman box, there's, like I said, the Kool-Aid Man, there's Jaws, Back to the Future, Golden Girls.
Seeing you walk in with the Kool-Aid Man got me really excited to, Kool-Aid Man versus Batman or something.
Yeah, and that's what's cool is they can all mix together. There's Jurassic Park. There is Jurassic Park. There's a Rick and Morty.
Is there a Back to the Future one?
Yep. Back to the Future, Rick and Morty. There's Alice in Wonderland. There's a Wonder Woman.
So which ones are we playing with today?
So I have the Batman starter box. I have the Harry Potter starter box. I have Kool-Aid Man, Darkwing Duck, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
And then Space Jam, right?
And now Space Jam, yeah, which comes with
LeBron and Bugs Bunny.
James and Bugs Bunny. So what's also neat about the different Funko boxes is each one has different scenarios. So it'll literally be almost a story that you play out.
So kind of like Villainous, and how each villain has their objective. Each box kind of has their own objective that fits the story.
It comes with a giant map of whatever. So the Nightmare has the town square, then you flip it over and it's Oogie Boogie's lair.
Oh, sweet.
And both sides have a card that has a scenario. So it'll be get the presents, or the other side of Boogie. I forget. It's control one area. And that's the other thing. There's multiple ways to play. You can play a straight up skirmish game where you fight each other. You can play a King of the Hill style game. You could play a collect points. There's certain things on the map you have to go collect.
And that's dictated by each box?
It's dictated by however you kind of want to do it.
Really?
Yeah, you can set up that scenario, or they give you scenarios. Each one, the Back to the Future, the Space Jam one has a basketball mode.
What?
Where you play basketball.
If you've seen the movie, I think in the trailers, when they play basketball, it's going to be different than the original Space Jam. Like it's going to be, it looks like a mode's activated.
It looks like a video game.
Yeah,
like, it looks very weird.
It does look weird. So I guess that's
that
probably
might be part of it.
Part of the game. I think that's part of the movie.
And then, like the Thanos one coming out is like a Infinity Gauntlet. I don't know how it plays, but that sounds cool. And then the Avengers have, so each box introduces a new way to play. Because even Alice in Wonderland, you play croquet,
which I know I've only seen the live action one, never saw the cartoon, but I realized that was a part of it because of Villainous. You know, and you guys know me, I love Villainous, and I'm sorry if I keep relating everything back to them, but so
that's
far
your one game that you can.
That's like my starting point that I kind of base. I am so hooked.
Yeah.
I'm into, I think we said a couple weeks ago, like 20 solo. I'm probably
officially have
like
every
50 or 60. I have every one. And my beautiful fiance enjoys playing with me too now, so it's fun. But are you excited for Space Jam? Like, I'm excited to play this game and excited to use the Funkoverse.
I'm fine.
Of Space Jam.
I'm excited that it's coming to HBO Max, so I could just watch it for free.
Because
I want to go to theaters, but I'll watch it Friday night. I'm there. Like,
I haven't decided what I'm doing yet, but that kind of fits like the Funkoverse, like what we talked about combining. Is from the trailer. We saw that like every Warner Brothers IP is there, so it's combining everything. Yeah, and it kind of seems like how this game works too. You can combine anything.
Yeah, they went into like the Matrix in the one trailer.
Yeah, which I mean,
there's the Iron Giant was running around. I heard the mask is like the referee, like the Jim Carrey's mask.
So that I saw that too because that leaked like a year and a half.
And Pennywise. I heard Pennywise. Like what?
Like this is, I guess it's trying to aim itself at the original Space Jam audience, but then also, the only thing that like, and we talked about this on my other podcast, is Don Cheadle is like he's like a lock to be kind of good in anything that he is. Like even if it's a bad movie, he's still awesome in it, and so the fact that he's attached to this gives me some level of confidence.
It'll be fine, because if you rewatch the original's
bad.
It's not good, but everyone has their
you grew up on
their
it.
Nostalgia goggles.
How Did This Get Made did an episode on it, and they were like, "You guys love this movie?" And it's like, yeah, if you grew up on it, the movie is awesome. And I said like about a year or two ago, I rewatched it, showing Audra for the first time, and I was like, "This is
because
it's all product placement, and it's a big commercial, but." There's still super fun aspects of the
I saw
it
in theaters. I remember going to the Devon in Northeast Philadelphia, being hyped and seeing it and being like, wow. And then same thing. I watched it recently and I'm just like, it's a movie.
It's a kid's movie.
It's a movie. It's just there. Like
it's fine.
Yeah.
And then like the first trailer had like Kingdom Hearts. Like it looked like the Kingdom Hearts planets.
Yeah, like he's going to different
Game of Thrones and everything, which they're in it too. Like the dragons were in the trailer. Like it's going to be wild. I just hope that it's somewhat good.
Yeah, I hope so too. But I don't have much invested either.
Yeah, like if it's bad, who cares?
Yeah,
like
I'll just move on.
They'll probably do a third one, you know. And
well, I remember they immediately wanted to spin off Space Jam back in the day, but like all the sports.
Yeah.
Because like Jeff Gordon was tied. They were going to do a NASCAR one. They were going to do.
That would have been so boring.
They were going to do like a bunch. And I don't know why they fell through.
The only other sport that I could see working, because it's fast paced, there's two others, hockey and football. Because like I love baseball, but it's a slower paced sport where that doesn't suit the film. Maybe soccer. I mean, it's not my thing, but
they could have made it work.
I'm glad.
But it is funny that like they were just like, "Ooh, that movie's a hit." Let's just NASCAR. Jeff Gordon's hot at the time.
Well, you know how the movie started, right?
It was a commercial.
It was a commercial.
Yeah.
It was I think a Nike or Gatorade commercial.
Yeah, with him and Bugs. Yeah. I remember the commercial.
And I found that fascinating. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fine.
Nah, it'll be fine.
It'll be a fun watch at home. I mean, they were saying, the Entertainment Weekly article I read on it was like, this is the movie to bring everybody back to theaters. And it's like, dude,
that's the
Black
movie?
Widow comes out literally the week before. And Fast and Furious is already out, which I saw, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, which I was shocked.
But it is a kid's movie, and that does draw
which it draws
parents,
people, and it get them out of the house.
Get kids out of the house,
which that's probably worth it. that alone. But I think we've kind of talked about it enough, and I'm excited to play this game, especially because we know Prospero Hall, and like the figures itself are miniature Funkos, so that's gonna look like whatever. But I'm excited to see how the board looks.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about the game, which is another reason I've been kind of collecting it. If I heard it wasn't good, then I wouldn't have bought it. But yeah, I'm excited to play. You ready?
Yeah, let's go get into the Funkoverse.
All right, I'll see you in a bit.
Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam. Here's your chance, do your dance at the Space Jam.
All right, we're back.
We're back. We jammed, baby.
We did. So what'd you think? Initial thought?
I liked it, man. It's a good game.
I really did too.
It's fun. It's fairly simple.
Yeah.
And I enjoy those simple games sometimes on some of these days. It's nice to not have something overly complicated and then to just be super infused with IP. Mm-hmm. And I like Funko. So, and Prospero Hall. Everything we kind of talked about hit the mark.
Yeah. This game was exactly what I thought it would be and more.
I think it's exactly what it should be, too.
Yeah.
And it's more than what it deserves to be, like, kind of when you think of a game like this.
It's very simple, very complicated at the same time, and there's a lot more thought than I think both of us kind of thought it was going to be.
Yes. So I mean simple in terms of once you understand it, but in the beginning, it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah, when you pull out all those chits and all the things, and you are like, whoa, and I'm just like, hold on.
Yeah, we put up the 4-minute rules.
Yeah,
girl.
We just pulled up a YouTube video how to play real quick, just almost for a refresher, because I did read the rule book a good amount. There's a lot of information in there, and I think that's one of the negatives. Is the book is like, a lot of dredge. It doesn't need to be there.
Well, we played 2 games. So when the first game started, I listened to the video and I listened to you, and was still very much, I'm going to see how this goes, and I'm going to pick up on it, because I thought I understood it, and I did like kind of what I do with Villainous, where I read the little pamphlet for the specific characters, and I'm like, okay, I think I understand what's going on here, but I'm not entirely sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see it, like I said, initial being very confusing, but you immediately picked it up.
Yeah,
You kind of got, because it's not a lot, while looking like a lot.
Yeah. And the first game, which we'll dive into, we played the second game differently. We played the first one like how the rules go. Like
we played a scenario.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to talk a little bit about the scenario?
Yeah, so the scenario we played was in the Halloween town from Nightmare Before Christmas's like main courtyard with, if you've seen the movie, it has the fountain in the middle, and the map it's very detailed. That's the one thing I'll say. Everything production-wise, map amazing. Figures, fantastic. Card artwork, everything, phenomenal. Like 10 out of 10. I think everything design-wise is fantastic. So the map, you're playing on it, and it gives you 4 tokens on the map, and it's a little card that kind of tells you where to put the tokens. And then there's also an area on the map that tells you is your King of the Hill, essentially. It's a King of the Hill scenario. If you have your characters in that grid, you get points. If you can collect the little chits that it tells you to put on the map, there's 4 of them, A, B, C, D, you get points for that. They're representing presents that you're collecting for Jack Skellington. And then another point scenario is knocking people out. So it's a very point salad of getting points to win.
I never heard that before, point salad.
Point salad, that's the terminology. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's funny. I like that. Yeah, no, it was designed beautifully, Prospero Hall. And then it was just mini Funkos that
are fun. Yeah. It's fun to see
them move on the board.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of like growing up with action figures, like you talked about earlier, like having them interact. And instead of just, they're smaller than a traditional Funko, but it's nice to, like, see them
moving
like
around,
doing something. Yeah. And we kind of said, oh hey, we don't need to buy all these expansions, like we can just use the Funkos we have or the ones that we already have and be like, okay, Bugs Bunny's
immediately
Iron Man. Yeah.
My head was like, oh, I need the Rick and Morty set. After playing now, my acquisition disorder is more. Now
I kind of want the
yeah.
game as well.
I'm curious to like mix more.
The Marvel one, it seems prime.
That's next
for us,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the first time we played, like you, Brian, you were saying that we did the Nightmare Before Christmas, and again, I was okay. I kind of understand, but I wanted to see it happen. So you went first, which is decided kind of just by this little coin thing, and you have white things that hold your character up. Kind of like if you buy newer Funkos, the ones with like smaller feet, have kind of like a base that helps them stand
because they're top
up.
heavy.
Yeah, so they have white bases and black bases, and then whatever this little coin's on, that's who goes first.
Yeah.
And after about 1 or 2 turns, I had it down.
Yeah.
Pat, I had some questions about some of the objectives and what exactly I can do, but it was
straightforward once you kind of have it. So let's give just a basic rundown of the rules. So our scenario, like I said, there was the points out of different points you can do. So when you choose characters, it's nice because if you play war games like this, normally there would be like a number assigned to the character. So if you're playing, let's say like Hero Clicks, like I talked about before with you personally, Superman being a super powerful character is like 300 points. So if you both agree like, all right, we're going to build a 500 point team, Superman's like the giant on your team, and then you build around him. Where this game, you just pick characters. They all seem to be balanced. There's no character that seemed to stand out that we played that I've noticed. There's definitely characters that are more attack heavy, and then there's ones that kind of help more. But that's pretty much it. You pick either 2 characters or 3 characters, depending on how you want to play. And then each character card has little color icons in a corner, so it's like yellow, gray, red, or blue, and you take that many tokens of the allotted tokens that are kind of representing your character card. So if I had Boogie, Joker, Darkwing Duck, that was the first game we played. Darkwing has a blue and a gray, Joker has a gray and a red, and Oogie Boogie has a gray and a yellow. So I take 3 grays, 1 red, and 1 yellow, and that's my pile of tokens, kind of. So on your turn, your characters can do 2 actions. They can move up to 2 squares. They can challenge, which is an attack for 2. So you roll 2 die to attack. You can assist, which picks up a character that got knocked down. You can interact, which is you interact with something on the map. So like I said, we had A, B, C, and D icons which represent it. Jack Skellington's presence, you can interact to pick them up, and that's a point. And then you can rally, which is your character standing up on their own, which takes 2 of your actions. As well as those, each character has 3 special actions. So this is where I could see this being confusing. This is where I think a player coming in is like, what is happening? So as I mentioned, the colored chits that you get represent the special attack that your character has. On your like little sideboard is what would I call that? Like a marker, a tracker that has 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. It's they call it the cooldown.
Yeah, there you go, cooldown track.
Mm-hmm.
So Oogie Boogie has a 4 attack that's gray. When I do that attack, it's a super strong attack because it goes to the top of this cooldown track.
Yeah, the cooldown track I thought was one of the cooler aspects of the game.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
And it's on you though to keep track that at the end of each turn you're moving that cooldown track from 4 to 3.
Yeah.
And eventually all the way down to 1, and then after it's off of 1, it goes back into your hand.
into your collection.
Which there's a lot of strategy at that too, which we can get into a little bit later.
So with those, it's important to kind of mitigate what powers you're using, because you can't just willy-nilly use this attack because it has to cool down and come back to you. So I thought that was cool. I liked... That's where I think it's more thinky than you would think. Like it would be. Like it doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
For such a silly game, it doesn't deserve such a cool mechanic, like a game mechanic, where it's like, oh, like I can do this really great attack, but I can't do it again for 3 rounds.
Yeah, I ran into that problem. On game 2, I had LeBron James, because that was the round we decided to play the Space Jam version. LeBron James, Batgirl, and Lord of Voldemort. But I ran into that issue with Voldemort has a super powerful attack, but he was the only person on the board for my team that had a silver token that kind of. So when I did this attack, it went to either the 3 or the 4, and I was planning ahead to do that, and then when I wanted to execute it, I didn't realize that I had already used it before, so it screwed me over, and I was like, oh crap, I'm stuck now. Like, so it is that think tank,
Thinking ahead,
the
yeah.
thinking ahead of. I didn't realize that, and then I drastically changed how I approached the game. But I was super eager and not thinking about it when I should have been. It was a common mistake.
Yeah, Voldemort was cool because that Fiend Fire, I think, is the highest attack, at least of the characters that I have.
Yeah.
But defensively, he's
poo-poo.
Yeah, he's rolling one defense die.
Yeah. So do you want to get into a little bit about the mechanic of like attacking and defensing?
Yeah, so it's very basic, like dice roll. It's if you do a challenge of 3, that means you're rolling 3 die, and they have 3 exclamation points, like an explosion looking icon, or a shield. So if you're rolling to attack, you want to roll the explosion icons, which represent 1 hit, or the exclamation points, which represent 3 hits. If you're on defense, you want to roll the shields or the exclamation points, which also represent 3 defenses, 3 shields.
So like Voldemort has 1 dice, so like 1 die to defend himself.
Yeah.
So those 3 exclamation points were super vital in giving him a fighting chance
Against Bugs
Bunny, who was
wailing on him.
So who was your second team?
My second team was Bugs Bunny, Batman, and Jack Skellington.
So we had those 3 versus LeBron, Batgirl, and Lord Voldemort. And then the first game was I had Kool-Aid Man, Hermione, and Dr. Finkelstein versus Oogie Boogie, the Joker, and Darkwing Duck. And that was a pretty competitive game, too. That came down to the wire. And spoiler alert, Bryan won.
Yeah. Won both?
Both games,
Yeah.
which typically happens here.
Just luck. It's really, that's the other thing. If you don't like luck, then this isn't the game for you, because those dice rolls are just.
Yep.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Luck, yeah.
Because you would roll and I'd be like, oh man, I might get them, and then I'd get the 3 exclamation points. I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go.
Yeah, you held me off for a little bit.
So some of those attacks too. So you knock the person down, and they're down.
They're knocked down.
They're knocked down until.
Either one of your allies pick them up, they use an action to pick them up, or they get attacked again by a rival character, and then they're considered knocked out, which gives you a point for knocking them out, and then they go on your cooldown track on one. So they're out for like 1 round, essentially.
Yeah, except for like some of the special abilities may help you. Like Voldemort was, okay, when this character's knocked out, he doesn't go on the cooldown. He goes right back to the start, and you can actually move him to spaces.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. That's the other thing. Yeah, they're very thematic. Like Bugs Bunny, not strong fighter, but annoying. Yeah. He would jump right next to people. He would call people to him. Oogie Boogie was very fun to play with. All his attacks dealt with luck, so you could attack, but if you rolled, he has his own special die, and if you roll 7 or like a certain number they kind of give you, it does more damage or it does something else. And then there were times where I was like, well, let me try to risk it, and it paid off or it didn't. And I like that because it's thematic. He's a gambler. Like
some of mine didn't really have thematic ones. But like the Kool-Aid Man was super fun to play with because he could literally bust through. Sometimes there's walls on the Nightmare Before Christmas board. He was great because there was a handful of walls to break through, but on the Space Jam one there wasn't. But there's literally rubble, like you put a little rubble circle down, and so not only can you break through those walls, but your allies can as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing on the map. There's certain areas which are like a little bit brighter and outlined, and they're considered like walls, so you can't see, like, so you can't attack certain characters that are through that wall. So that, Kool-Aid Man was, I felt like kind of useless attack wise, but he was just running through walls all over the map.
He was just fun to play. Like I had the Kool-Aid Man interacting with Hermione and Finkelstein fighting Oogie Boogie, the Joker, and Darkwing Duck. Like that's awesome.
Finkelstein
was cool.
Was very cool.
He put was thematic too.
He put a big halt to the Joker. So the Joker's one cool power is that he's kind of throwing around these tokens that are presents, and they blow up when one of RP's persons would like land on them, or I could explode them and kind of hit people. So Finkelstein had a really cool power.
And it was called It's Alive, where he could choose a token or a marker within 2 squares of him, and basically I could take those presents and flip them and turn them against the Joker, essentially, and benefit me. I wasn't able to use that power, but it was a cool potential stopping, which then you wanted to start targeting him.
Where that was game 1, where I don't think you realized.
I did not.
He did, yeah. So I think if we played again, which we will, this is definitely a game that's going to come out again.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
So I think if you played him again, you would know kind of how to utilize that. Because I was throwing presents all over the place, and you could have just been like using them to attack me.
Yeah, no, it definitely will be played again for the cool mechanics, the cool pieces, and just the IP cluster of it all is why I like
it. Replayability.
Yeah, yep.
It's, as we talked about earlier, this game has replayability. I think at this point, I might be wrong, but there might be like over 80 characters for this game at this point, or at least 80 different combinations. Yeah, maybe. I don't want to say 80 characters yet, because I don't think
there's a ton. We had a ton downstairs that we.
And I'm still missing like Game of Thrones and Jaws and like, so I don't want to say 80 characters, but yeah, combinations. There's an infinite amount. Then you get objects that they hold.
Yeah.
Each side has one item they can use. So there's like a mallet, which gives you extra attack. There's a gas gun, which is good for Darkwing Duck. That kind of creates little gas clouds you can hide in. There's the Fearless Felicious, which when you roll a 3, you lower stuff on your cooldown track. So when you need it graze, if you would have had that one rolling the exclamation points, you could have been getting your powers quicker. You had the basketball.
The basketball was cool because if you rolled the 3 exclamation points, right, you could move something down on your cooldown track.
Yeah, you shift at one thing, but you can also pass it to somebody else.
Yes.
So that was the cool part. Was
if I got knocked down, I think you could pass.
Because the other items are kind of stationary to who has them, where this one you can pass in between.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
And then there's also the Batarang, which is do a challenge 2, which challenge 2 is when you attack and you're rolling 2 dice, and to a rival that was adjacent to the target.
Yeah, so you're like boomeranging,
cool. Yeah, it was a nice additional
thematic
like, pow-pow.
Again, yeah, nice thematic.
Absolutely.
Item.
So this game was super cool.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to try to get more. It just got me thinking, too, because Funko has like an infinite pool for IP. What would you want to see added to this? Like if you could choose.
So if I could choose, do you mean like an IP that's like? Do you not mean like another Marvel character? Or do you mean something that has?
If that's what you want, but I think pick like 3 characters you think would be cool to add to this. So
a character probably like Doctor Strange.
Okay.
Doctor Strange would be cool. Maybe like a Buzz or a Woody from Toy Story.
Okay, yeah.
That could be kind of cool. Or Alley-Oop is Kingdom Hearts. Like that just
do like a whole
fits.
Disney, yeah.
And then maybe Sherlock Holmes or something. Like I don't really.
Yeah, I put you on the spot.
Yeah, you did put me on the spot.
I was thinking like Turtles would be right for this. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Turtles would be perfect.
Like a 4-pack with the Turtles.
Perfect.
You do Shredder and Splinter, like 2-pack.
Yep, that's perfect.
I thought they would be great.
Yeah, that's prime time for this. Or like.
But I'm just thinking, like, they have the IP for everything. Like,
or like
any
the
TV
serials,
show.
like Tony the Tiger.
More goofy stuff, yeah.
Goofy stuff. Like Kool-Aid Man was awesome.
Mm-hmm. He-Man's coming out.
Yeah, He-Man is How about you? 3 for you.
Like I said, the Turtles would be for sure. I mean, obviously, like, Power Rangers would, like, fit. But I'm trying to think of, like, Urkel. I want to see Urkel. Just weird stuff like that. Like, get weird with it. I love the Avengers.
Fast and Furious.
I don't know why there isn't a Don Toretto.
Yeah, there should be.
And the car.
The family. The Fast Family.
Yeah.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, I think every time... This is another one of those games where every time an expansion comes out, I'm like, this is probably the last. I don't know. Like how... Because this game is always on the shelf whenever I go
Yeah, same.
and see it. It's always, so it starts at like 40. That's the MSRP. It always drops.
Well,
It's always cheaper.
I mean, I'll say this too, like with just Funko in general. Like that's how it is. Like I go to a store, they're loaded with characters nobody cares about. All the good characters are gone, but it's also that collector's aspect too. People, I gotta have this. You know how you are. I gotta have the Darkwing Duck. I gotta have the.
Yeah.
You know, so the Marvel one will come out, and people, I gotta get it.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter one, I gotta get it. So that also probably helps.
Yeah, The Office. I would say The Office.
That
I would
would
love
be
The
fun.
Office.
That would
yeah.
be love to see Prison Mike.
Yeah.
You know, like or B-Ball Mike trying to take one of them down.
Michael
or something.
Scott and Dwight. Yeah, so that's what I mean. Funko has the IP for everything, so they literally could do this forever. But
And I feel like that's just Prospero Hall's thing. They
I
deal
think,
with all the IP.
yeah,
You know, maybe a Batman villain pack or Spider-Man, like a Sinister Six.
yeah. Now they're doing Marvel, but I also want to see them move away from that too.
Yeah,
like
I know.
You did Marvel, you did DC. Now do some weird stuff. Get weird with it.
Turtles for sure.
Turtles that's a easy one. That's a slam dunk.
Yeah, like they did get all the Space Jam hit. It opens the door. Maybe Scooby Doo will come
Yeah.
walking in and other
Pennywise.
Pennywise. So, kind of piggybacking off of that. Like, so Space Jam is out now.
As of today.
As of today,
This
it's out.
airs.
We'd seen it already. It's great, or it's not. I don't know. What would be your Space Jam lineup? You know, there's the 5 positions. You can have a celebrity as a 6th rotation, and then 1 NBA star.
All right.
This was thrown out by a producer on Previously Recorded that
Like a dream team draft? Like
we
kinda?
did a Space Jam fantasy draft.
Okay.
So we on Previously Recorded, we did that, and we had 6 rounds, 6 picks,
Okay.
and there was the power. You know, you had to fill them in any way, but there was the point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, the center, and a celebrity like Bill Murray in the original Space Jam.
Okay.
One of your other positions had to be an NBA athlete to lead the Toon Squad.
Okay. So I'm making Space Jam 3.
That's how. Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly how we phrased it.
Okay. All right.
But on the show, if you want to go listen to it, the episode is out. Space Jam Fantasy Draft, previously recorded. Go check it out. Shane on the show took an old NBA athlete where Bob, who was on this podcast, and I took current NBA athletes to fit that Space Jam mold. It's got to be somebody current.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to list off of yours, and I'll do the exercise with you as well because
Yeah. No, let's do this. All right. Here's the only problem. I don't know sports.
All right.
So you're going to
let
walk
me
me
lay
through
it.
this.
I'll lay it down for
Okay.
you. All right. So the point guard is your player that you want to handle the ball, kind of facilitate the offense. You're going to run the offense. You're
Okay.
going to try and get the ball to who's going to score the points and get them in a position where you might drive to the hole and the defenders may cover you, but you can dish it out to the perimeter and let the other players shoot.
Okay.
The shooting guard is there to score points, but also play good defense.
Okay.
So, you know, somebody that you think is going to be
Versatile.
great. Yeah, versatile.
Okay.
Same thing with small forwards, the same way.
Okay.
Power forward is going to be your defender and your rebounder, but who also can get in there, get nitty gritty, kind of get you some points. LeBron typically
I was
plays
about
that
to say,
position.
LeBron, yeah.
I think Jordan fluctuated between a power forward and a shooting guard as well.
Okay. Those are the only 2 NBA players I know. So, all right.
And then your centers, you're typically your tall boy.
Okay.
Who's going to get there, who's going to rebound, he's going to get you some of the easier points, he should, and he's really not going to be shooting, he's going to be driving to the hoop,
Okay.
getting fouls.
I do know a center.
All right, cool.
All right. And he's my star of the movie.
All right, there you
all
go.
right, so I'm ready.
I think I know who your center is going to be. So we can just go back and forth, or you
Okay.
know. So who you want to take first?
All right. So what was the first one you mentioned?
Oh, you can draft it in any order you want.
What was the first one? The point guard?
Point guard?
All right. So point guard's your speedy boy.
Typically, yeah. That's
and
how
I'm
a lot of people
doing-
look at 'em.
Anything.
That is fictional. So, for example, a fictional character is Kevin Malone from The Office, where he's not necessarily animated, but
Okay.
he's fictional.
So all right, gotcha. I got you. So this
Yeah.
is characters going into
Yeah, and
So-
the way that Nikki V, our producer, he came on basically as the rules guy, said it as, okay, well, you have if an athlete or if you have a superhero, can they use their power? So yeah, they can, but until it's going to be called foul. So, example, flopping in the NBA. Sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes if you keep doing it, you'll get a call to foul.
Okay.
Same thing with your superpowers. Like Doctor Strange may have the ability to kind of mind alter things. The refs are eventually going to catch on to that.
All right.
If you use a Jedi, the Force is within reason.
All right. So any.
And then, but no weapons. So you can't check a weapon into an NBA game.
Okay. So we're doing any. We're not sticking to like Warner Brothers. We're going all out.
All out.
Okay.
Anything.
All right. Point
Video
guard.
game world, board game world.
All right. My speedy boy. Man, put me on the spot. All right. My speedster is. I mean, I'm just gonna go to Flash because I'm put on the spot, but that's someone quick that I could think of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good pick.
Okay.
For me, I'll go point guard as well. I'm going to go with Mario. I think Mario has played a lot of different sports, and he's going to be pretty good. And I think he might be able to man up down there. And my team that you hear today may be very different than the team I drafted. I also have an advantage. I kind of just did
I didn't
this.
listen to it, so I don't.
It's well, at the time of this episode, it's not out yet. So
No, you're right.
and then so next up would be your next pick.
All right, so we're going shooting guard, which was your versatile character. He was a scorer and defensive.
Defender. So, you want to think of somebody who's going to be there to, play somewhat good defense, but mainly get you some points.
Okay. All right, shooting guard. All right, I'm just going to have fun with it. What do I want to see? I want to see the Flash, and I'm going to go Luke Skywalker.
There you go.
There you go.
That's pretty good.
Can he use the Force to
Yeah, he can
steal
use
the
the
ball?
Force. So, yeah, there was the rules were a little loose.
It's my movie.
Yeah, there you go.
He's doing whatever.
Okay. And then I'll go right with you. I'll go shooting guard will be Legolas.
Okay.
I think so. A fun part of it too was like we were thinking like an NBA athlete that'll be able to teach these guys the game, like in Space Jam too.
Mm-hmm.
So like Legolas may not have any ability with a basketball, but I think he could probably learn, and he's good at shooting. With bow and arrow, I feel like that could translate pretty well. So that was some of my thoughts. So I'll go Legolas from Lord of the Rings.
Then what was the next one?
Small forward was next.
Small forward, and that was just another versatile character.
Yeah, basically.
All right, I'm gonna go. Let's see. I got Luke. I got the Flash. I'm trying to think of other fun franchises I can just make a fun movie about. I'm gonna go with. I was going to Leonardo from Ninja Turtles since we talked about Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I drafted Mikey.
Did you?
First as my small forward.
Your other draft.
So yeah, that's a good pick. I love the Turtles in there. So for my small forward, I'm gonna go I'll go Michelangelo for my small forward. Once
brother
again.
versus brother.
Yep.
All right.
All right. So then you're up with your power forward.
Power forward. I'm gonna go, and this is your defensive.
Yeah, he's gonna be your like power strong guy. Yeah.
Not a scorer, more defensive and kind of like, all right. So I'm going to go with the Hulk.
There you go. And for my power forward, I'm going to pick my NBA athlete, and I'm going to go at the power forward position. I'm going to go.
You could say any name.
I
have
know.
no idea.
I think I'm going to put Paul George at my power forward.
Paul George, great pick. All
Yeah.
right. Plays for the NBA.
Yeah, he plays for the Clippers. I think he could play that power forward position pretty well. I like him. Playoff Paul.
My center. Dikembe Mutombo.
There you go. And then my center will be Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, okay.
He can stretch, get up there. Some of the other ones, like Shane took Treebeard as his center.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then your celebrity pick. Who would you pick as your celebrity off
Just
the
to hang
bench?
out the Rock. The Rock's always.
I'll take Adam Sandler.
There you go.
There you go. So that gets a fun
That's
little
a great movie. I'm
Billion-
more excited for Space Jam 3.
trillion dollars at the box office.
I'm more
right
excited
there.
for Space Jam 3 than I am for Space Jam 2.
Now off the cusp, in the other show we took some time, did some research. Off the cusp, I think that was a pretty good team.
Yeah. No, I'm watching that movie.
Yeah.
And they're going to be playing in a Quidditch field in Harry Potter. And the referee is going to be Spider-Man.
There you go. There you go. I love it. It's great.
Sold.
So, $quadrillion franchise. But yeah, I thought that was a little fun.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It caught me off guard.
It's just tough on the spot.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
just while I put you on the spot with our D&D pick.
That's true. That's true. I feel like that was easier though.
The D&D one?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know sports.
But that's our yin to the yang. I know sports, and you know all the board game stuff.
Exactly. Perfect.
So I think it's time for. So we're gonna change the name of this, so it's just easier.
Phonetically.
Yeah, phonetically. Kick or kick start it.
Kick or kick start it. So I'm going to come up with one this week, just because we had a lot. I knew this would be a long episode.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a game called Winter Haven Woods, and this is a game I'm actually very interested in. I followed them on Instagram and actually reached out to the person that made it because the artwork for it is fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it. It's about a forest and forest animals going to prepare for the winter. It's just a card drafting game, very simple. You get I think 7 cards, which are your forest. You collect animals that are kind of in the row. Each animal has their own power. So like a beaver you put in your forest, you can steal from the person you're playing against. A deer, I think, just hangs out in your forest to get extra points at the end of how many deer you have in your forest. You can use predators to eat the animals in your opponent's forest. Super simple. But like I said, one of the animals is a fox.
Okay.
And my son's middle name is Fox, and I love the art, so I reached out and I'm like, hey, like, is there any way just to get the artwork? And he said, I think eventually he's going to do some art prints. So I was like, oh, okay, cool, great. Like, he responded. I was like,
that's
that's
awesome.
really cool. And that's it. It plays 1 to 6 players. It's a super simple game, but it was one that...
How much to start?
So $10 will get you the print and play. So you basically get the file. You can print it out yourself.
Oh.
And then $20 gets you the game.
Oh, that's not bad.
And all stretch goals, which are just more animal.
Oh, the hell with...
Yeah.
Yeah, the hell with it.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, look it up. Winter Haven Woods is beautiful. It really is like a very striking...
Kickstarted, man. The guy was super responsive to you, too. So, yeah, kickstarted. Absolutely.
The art's amazing. Like I said, everything's... It's just a white stark card because it's supposed to be winter, and then like the animals on it. Like there's not a lot to it. Like it's just a orange fox and then just a really white stark background card. The trees are just like they're very green because everything else just is so white. Like it's just I don't know. It just has really good table presence.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah,
it sounds simple and
I backed it already.
Oh, did you? There you go.
So you know where I stand. Yeah, I thought that was it. Like that was just one I was excited for.
Yeah, that's cool. I could tell you were excited for the way you're explaining it and the fact that you reached out just about art.
Yeah, I just want a print of the fox. Like it really is.
It's cool to find some good ones on there that are worth backing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at that price point, it's like how immediately it's like $20. That's easy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nothing. $10 for a print and play one too.
Yeah, yeah. Even if I just wanted the fox, I could just pay for the print and play.
Seriously.
Printed it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was kind of it.
You kicked my butt in Funkoverse. Do you want to fight now?
Yeah, let's do it. Alright, so Super Fight, if you're a listener, you know what this is. Basic game. Pick cards, which represent our fighters, and then 2 more cards for each character, which represent their either strengths or weaknesses in the fight. We have a little banter. Mm-hmm. And
how has the audience been leaning? In our favor or in the opposite?
Yeah, because you and I have been pretty much, the last couple have been on the same page. Yeah, it just seems like...
The only one we weren't was the Blob versus Chuck Norris.
Yeah, well, Chuck Norris won.
Which we had a listener reach out about that too, which I thought was funny.
Yeah,
he had some questions.
But I think that's the one good thing and bad thing about this game is it can become very one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
It's still fun.
It's all about the argument.
Yeah, it's still fun. Argument. I think this is a great game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Like if you're just kind of sitting around drinking.
Yeah.
Or podcasting.
Or just hanging out.
Yeah. All right, so we got Mike Tyson
Mike Tyson.
versus a cactus.
Aldra's going to take the cactus all day.
Mike Tyson is morbidly obese
I think I'd still take him.
and can only be killed by beheading.
Okay. Well, most people.
The cactus is swinging a shark on a chain and is elderly.
I'm going to. Because if he's. Mike Tyson moves pretty quick.
Okay.
Morbidly obese. I don't know. But if he can only be killed by beheading, he's not going to lose to a shark on a chain. I mean, unless the shark bites his head off.
But he can't punch the cactus because it's prickly.
It'll hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's no parameters around what kind.
Yeah, Mike Tyson doesn't have any advantage. He has
Like,
two
if he
disadvantages, kind of.
Well, I mean, he's got his natural born talent, but now he's obese. Morbidly obese. I don't know. Because the cactus isn't moving either. The cactus doesn't have legs. Did not say that.
I mean, it's swinging a shark chain, though.
Yeah.
The elderly doesn't really.
But then
that's a non-factor.
a morbidly obese person. So I'm assuming this is like morbidly obese, like unable to move.
Yeah, unhealthily.
Like can barely move. So it's probably a good match in that standpoint. The fact that Mike Tyson doesn't have an advantage is making me lean towards a dang cactus versus one of the greatest fighters of all time.
The shark has to be very precise, though, to get his head.
Yeah, because I mean, doesn't say the cactus has hands, so is the chain just like attached to the cactus's head and it's just swinging around? You know?
Yeah.
It's like this.
Maybe it's
like
a chain chomp from Mario. Maybe the shark.
The
cactus is standing still,
but the
shark is jumping.
Okay, that I can get behind, but I don't have a strong argument for either.
Yeah.
Like I feel this is like almost a draw because it's like, I think we have to. It has to go to the cactus
because of the shark.
But the shark would have to bite his head off.
I mean, even if it doesn't,
clean.
It's just gonna. He can only be killed. Doesn't mean he's not in agony.
Yeah.
Getting bitten.
Which in truth,
there's a lot to bite.
To lose in super fight, that's true. That's true. To lose in super fight is never necessarily death. It's just who would
win a fight.
Doesn't mean death.
I mean, I'm going with
I think I'm gonna go with the cactus.
Yeah, I gotta go with the cactus because
Mike Tyson, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think the shark will just, even if it doesn't kill him, being bitten. Over and over. And like, if you're morbidly obese, you have a lot to bite. He can't miss. That's a lot happening.
True. All right, well, that one's solved.
Yeah, elderly cactus.
All right.
Won.
How about that?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what you're hearing, remember to leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts, most specifically, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And tweet us or Facebook or Instagram us. I mean, we're more active on the Instagram at Gateway Gamers Pod. We want to hear from you.
Yeah. Yeah, someone just reached out to us recently and just said they were listening, and it was a big deal. I mean, it is like it does feel like we're just kind of talking.
It's really
into
cool.
Nothing sometimes. So.
Yeah, no, it's really cool of when you are making a product that we're doing this for our own enjoyment.
Yeah,
and then other people enjoy it too, and it's always nice to just hear back. So we really love to hear from you. Anything to plug before we go?
No.
Yeah, I'll just give it a shout out to Previously Recorded. Go check out if you like the aspect we did on this half of the show about picking a Space Jam team. Go check it out over there. We had some fun doing that.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thanks. And closing out today's episode, we're going to have the newest single from local Philadelphia artist Kingsley. And you can find him on Instagram at Ty_Kingsley1, the number 1. And then on all streaming platforms, just search Kingsley and all of his songs will come up. And this is his most recent single. It's the new hit song, Undertow. You're going to love it. It's going to be the song of the summer. Everybody's going to be playing it. So enjoy.
I want you where we can be alone. No one besides us has to know. Running from my past and I'm running from the truth. Hey, oh. Hey, oh. You came crashing down. I'm the whiskey, you're the water. You set my soul on fire. Losing my mind just a little. you set my soul